Right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is good to be back with you for another marketing clinic today. And we are going to be talking today, once again, about digital content creation, kind of building off of what we have talked about before. But I figured today we would just spend a little time reflecting and thinking about what that looks like. I've got some little slides that we'll go through, and then at the end, I want to play with a little my new buddy ChatGPT and play with some content creation and kind of go through. I've got a construction client that I've got their permission to kind of model the way I go about doing their content, so that may give some ideas to you. But I'm hoping also that you all have some challenges. Cannot hear. Um, and let's see. Manhati can't hear me, Big B, but can you? Is my volume okay? Is anybody else? Can y'all hear me?
I can hear
It's a
you.
little bit quiet, but yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, let me see if I can adjust the volume a little bit more, raise my voice. Okay, let's see if that's any better. All right, I'll speak up a little bit too. Manhati, have you gotten your sound corrected yet? Sure you're not on mute or you don't have your computer on mute. I'll keep monitoring that. Let's see, where do we at here? PowerPoint. Let's see. All right, a little low. Okay, I'm not sure why that is, but I have the volume up, so I will just speak a little louder than normal and not feel like I am being too loud for you all. All right, so here we are sharing my screen, and we got a little PowerPoint we're gonna do here. Just double check my audio. Y'all bear with me a second. Double check audio sound. All right, it is turned up on my end. So let's see everything. I have got everything on full blast. All right, so like I said, today we are going to be talking about a little bit of digital content creation and how to connect that and just some stuff. I mean, we've all done digital content, we've all talked about it and stuff, but kind of a little bit of a refresher, maybe some new ideas come out, some suggestions, etc., and going from theirs. Um, okay, I got a question from Shy. Uh, very good. Okay, good question. I just finished a training today on Chat GPT for a chamber, and that's exactly what I spent time talking about is what makes it different. And so I will come to that. And that I may even jump to another. Okay, since that question is important, I may jump to the presentation that I used today after this. So thank you for that. And please don't let me forget. Please don't let me forget that question. All right, what are we doing here? All right, so let's just kind of do a little refresher here, a little update. I do want to know what your challenges are. Shy has shared one of hers. Please put those in the chat box because that is what I would like to be able to use for examples as after we, because this can be at 30 minutes, and we still have time to do some real world examples. So anybody that has challenges or questions on content creation, please put those in the chat box and we will visit those. So, why are we here today? To do a few things. To learn a little bit more on how to create engaging content, looking at some simple strategies to stay consistent in our content creation, as well as, some tools and tips to save time. Obviously, AI and ChatGPT are one of those main tools, but we're going to go into that a little bit more. And just as a refresher, why is digital content important? Well, I mean, it's important for many reasons. Number one, it continues to build our brand awareness about who we are as a business, and by consistently um, creating and posting and repurposing that content, it just continues to build a brand awareness. We've talked about that in the customer buying journey. We've talked about that in the content creation. Is the importance of consistently letting individuals know who you are, what you do, what you represent before there's ever a trigger of what they need from you. So that's what, when we talked last time about one of the marketing funnel things where it's before I'm drawing a blank real quick, but whenever there's a trigger and someone needs something, they need to buy they're inspired to buy your product or service, you want them to hopefully have seen you before. To be, oh, that's what that business does, or I remember seeing something about them. And that's why that particular category of content creation and repurposing is important, because it does build that brand awareness. Another part of digital content, it's important for search engine optimization. It's very we use that in search engines. We use it in our social media platforms. We use it in our email marketing, in our email communications. All of those things. Another important way that digital content matters. And the other thing is, it keeps the audience engaged by seeing the stuff we post, by engaging with it, by looking at it, even if they're just um, reeling through it or thumbing through it, they still see you. They still see that you're active. They still see that you're doing things. And all of that matters. Even if there's no physical action, click through done, it's by them seeing you that's an important part. So many times the business challenges on this is I don't know what to post. I struggle to stay consistent, and I just don't have enough time to create all of this. And so that's something that we're going to kind of look at, leaning heavily into an AI like ChatGPT to help us answer those questions, helping us manage time so that we can do that, and making sure that we have the right tools. So some types, just as a refresher, again, we're just kind of refreshing. A lot of us know this. What are the types of digital content? Well, website number one. So what do you have on your website? And the blogging or news updates. What are you updating your website with on a regular basis? That's part of your digital content strategy. Number two, obviously, is your social media graphics updates, content updates, and videos. We know it's a very important part of the whole digital strategy, is making sure that I'm consistent and concise and fresh with the content that I'm creating on social media. Another part is email and e-newsletters. I think I mentioned to y'all, I've just kind of gotten back into that, and I see the difference. I can see the analytics. I can see the response. I get people that I run into, be like, hey, I really enjoyed that. So I'm seeing that I'm getting a positive response off of the time it takes me to create emails and newsletters. Lead magnets. So this is where you have different guides or checklists or things of that nature that you want someone to download. But in order for them to download them, you're asking them for their email address or phone number or both. So that's another part of digital content that's created, that you're leading them in to get something from you. And of course, the importance of short form video, just short video clips that we create using our phones or using our devices that are promotional, that are entertaining, that are brand awareness, all those different things that we've talked through on the other marketing things, being able to do short form videos on those. So everything I'm all about a plan, all about understanding what my plan is and being able to work my content strategy framework around that purpose and that plan. Number one, we've talked about this several times, know your audience. Who are you speaking to? And if you're not clear on your audience, lean into a ChatGPT to talk to you about who your audience is. I laugh now that there's nothing I can present about now that doesn't involve AI. Something got AI in my brain, but there's very little that I can discuss when it comes to running a business or marketing a business that doesn't include AI now. So if you don't know your audience, spend some time with your ChatGPT, educating it as who your business is, educating it who your competitors are, and define your audience and ask it who it thinks your audience is and help you define that. Another thing in the strategy framework is to be able to what are your content pillars? What are the main categories of content that you want to be able to use? One is maybe about the company. One is the services you offer. One is repurposing other people's content. What may be informational content. So, what are the main categories of content that you want to be able to create and post on an ongoing process, and then creating the content calendar that addresses that. For example, the construction company that where I'm going to use as an example today that I've been working with for a few months. One is general services. One is general information article. One is general services post. And then every once a month, there's a very detailed post that goes in. It takes a lot of time. It really does take time to create and tag. And I'm going to show you all that on a construction project in progress, but also I pull from their archives that pull off of the website on completed projects. So I know that is and then one is a holiday, maybe a joke or something like that. So those are my main pillars that I'm trying to market for them. And I do that and I repeat it. You can go through the feed and see you can see the process itself. And then the other part is start small and stay consistent. If it's one post, you've heard me say this. One post a month is one post a month. That's all it is. Make the best post it can be. But again, starting small, being consistent is more important than like an interjection of social post and then nothing. Interjection of social post and nothing. So again, it's that staying consistent that is very important as well. So, what are some tools to help you plan this? Well, Google Calendar, using your calendar apps to help you plan, putting it at, I have it listed on my calendar. I mark out days and times and during the month that is just for not only my personal company work, but for my client work. So it's mapped out, it's allocated for that, and it enables me to focus and be able to schedule out ahead. Using a Trello or Notion as well. For content, use Canva. Canva content. Canva has calendar templates. There's lots of different things, and obviously, ChatGPT can be used for all of this stuff. But again, just figuring out what some tools are to help you stay on track, scheduling it, and then creating the ideas and the information. Another tip I'd like to kind of discuss is simplifying your process. Batch create. And what I mean by that is kind of what I was talking about with what I do. I have allocated days, multiple days during the month. That's all I do is I create content for my businesses, for my clients' businesses, and I sit down and I'm able to do 2, 3, 4, 5 posts. And then I schedule it depending on what our arrangement is. For myself, I try to do 1 to 2 a week for each business, mapping that out, the different pillars that we talked about that I want to cover. A lot of my stuff is, what I've been speaking about, what I've been training about, what the web company has created, informational articles and things of that nature. I have templates that I use. I use Canva. I love Canva. I have saved templates that I simply make copies of and update with current information or new photos or the new tagline or the new subject. But I'm just reusing it.
All right, we got to do this shit, baby.
Oh, got somebody here. And then lastly is scheduling ahead, using your Meta, using your Facebook, what do you call it? A business suite, Hootsuite, Sprout Social, all of those things that are scheduled ahead. Now, for Facebook, I'm sure y'all are familiar with the @followers, the thing that after you do a post and after it posts, you go in the comment section, you do the @ and followers. And what it does is it's supposed to send a message to anyone that follows that page that you have tagged them. I haven't tried it in a calendar yet, like in other words, in the business suite. What I actually do though is on my calendar, I'll go in and say if next Tuesday at 9 a.m. I have a post that's going out for me. I on my calendar, on my work calendar at 9:30, I just have a small reminder @followers Designs Interactive. @followers Orhan McMillan, and that's my signal. Go jump on your Facebook page, find that post, do the @followers. I need to give it a try and see if I can't do that in my original post. I don't know that yet. If any of y'all do, let me know. That'll save me a little time. But again, scheduling it, document it, keeping track of it. Some of the free or low cost tools I've spoken about, Canva for your design work, writing, ChatGPT or Grammarly. I use mainly, well, I use both of them actually. I gotta say, I do use both of them. Let's see, I'm getting some feedback. Okay, we're good now. I'm just getting some feedback I need to take care of. Scheduling, Buffer, Google Calendar, things like that. For email tools, I'm a big MailChimp guy. I like using that. I've got my templates created. I go in, I recreate. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different mail lists in my MailChimp that I use. So subscriber, client, and there's a few others. So in MailChimp, I'll send out an email to each mail list individually, but all I got to do is go duplicate, change the mail list it's going to, schedule it, and move on. So there's a lot of things that I'm doing that are automated. I know there's more that I could do, and I'm looking forward to being able to automate more. But again, using the Canva, using ChatGPT, using a scheduler or a poster, and then of course your email software. Another thing is repurposing. I'm all about repurposing stuff. I was joking earlier today in my presentation. I'm like, so I've done I have an HVAC company, air conditioning and heating company for 2.5 years. I can only be so original about heating, air, temperatures rising, changing your air filter, scheduling your maintenance, those type of things. And so I lean in heavily on repurposing using ChatGPT to use an old post and say, hey, I need you to rewrite this post for May 2025 Louisiana. But again, I can take a blog, turn that into a Facebook or social media post, take that and turn it to a reel, move that into an email post, email blast, and then come back and make a story out of it. So again, using the different, looking at, I think the way I want to say that is looking at an individual post and how many ways can I recreate that so it's not identical, but also repurposing it across different platforms. For the construction company, we just did an update on a project for an EMS fire station, and I was texting the owner, and he says, "Oh, I've got newer pictures since they uploaded to Google Drive, etc." I said, "Great, let me do this one right now." And then in 3 weeks, I'll add it to the calendar. Then I'm going to take this one and do an update to the update and incorporate new pictures. So again, I'm kind of repurposing the content and reusing it. The other thing, I say this, I've said this before, a lot of times we think that just because we posted it one time, we shouldn't repurpose it or repost it or reactivate it. Only if someone goes to your Facebook page or Instagram page or something are they going to see the repetition. Most of the time they see it in their feeds. And so it's okay to repurpose things. I like to change a little something, whether it's an image or a text file or something, just so it's not exactly the same. If you're not sure, things to talk about, if you have a frequently asked questions on your website, turn those into individual content posts. If you don't have a frequently asked questions, go to ChatGPT, ask it, put in your website, ask it to come up with frequently asked questions, and you may end up with 12 different examples or 12 different post possibilities. Yes, I can't. Yes. I don't know if that's coming to me or I will share this.
I need a nap.
Let's see. So again, keeping in mind one idea, how many formats can I do it? It saves me time. And it makes me very efficient, in what I'm trying to do.
Oh shit! I didn't charge my.
That's all right. Will y'all mute yourselves, please? All right. All right. So quick wins content. 2 posts a week. Just 2 quick posts. And again, in those posts, mixing value and promotion and personality. So a little bit of value, offering something to them, promoting, and then personality. And again, reusing it across platforms. And now, as I'm gonna show you with using ChatGPT as much as I do, it's a lot easier. I just drop it in, say, hey, I want this for LinkedIn, I want this for Instagram, I want this for an email, I want this for a blog post. Yeah, I'm gonna stop with this. I'm gonna come back to this one, and I want I want to go to, let me get out of here. We're gonna play with content. Let me go back. This is that I laughed at myself with this one. Done is better than perfect. So anybody that's a perfectionist, just get it done. Send it out there. It's not going to be, I mean, outside of just some blatant error, just get it done. I used to have issues with, okay, is this right? Is everything right? Just put it out there. Get it done. Start with the things you have already as resources. But again, stay consistent, track the results, get the feedback of what people are or are not commenting on, and then go from there. So let's play with some content here real quick. I want to, so before I do that, I was fascinated by Shai's question. So let me go to that. So Shai asked, if you or others are directing everyone using ChatGPT, then all the marketing products will become identical. If all of us were just using, how are we supposed to stand out with AI given identical advice or giving AI wrong? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the presentation I did this morning. All right. So the short answer of that is one of your goals in using ChatGPT is to train the GPT to be you. You can do it on the free version, I think, but pay you a few dollars, get the paid version, and train the GPT. And so what I mean by that is, and I'm going to jump around to the different sections, but let me see, guide. Okay. Mastering prompt and prompt chaining is specifically what I'm going to look at here. I'm going to play from this. So again, prompting is whenever you go into ChatGPT and you ask it a question of something to do. Write me a social media post for whatnot. That's a very general prompt. If you have not, you're gonna have to bear with me because I'm jumping over it a little bit. I had an example of a basic prompt.
Hey, come on.
All right, whoever's got I think somebody's dialed in. Can y'all please mute yourself?
Sean, I think your microphone might be unmuting.
You got me standing here. I'm trying to get ready to get the fuck too.
All right, we're going. So this is an example of that is a basic prompt. Write me a sales email for a new fitness coaching program. Well, ChatGPT that has not been trained or given any information is going to give you, it's going to have to guess your tone, it's going to guess your audience, and it's going to guess your goals because it hasn't been given any information. But what you do is you go into ChatGPT and you upload your website, you upload brochures, you upload documents, etc. that you have. And that is how you educate it. Let me see if I can find this is it here. So training your GPT to mirror your brand voice. So the more information you give Chat GPT about you and your company and how you work and what your like brand message and purpose and all that is, it's going to narrow down and give you results that match your tone. And you want that because you want the consistency, you want the personalized communication, and you also don't want to have to spend time rewriting this. And like Shai was saying, I don't want the same answer that I know everybody else is going to get. So one thing I encourage people to do when it comes to that is educate the GPT. So I will update my website. I will give my website URL to it. I will get old past blogs or social media captions. I can take my entire Facebook URL, LinkedIn URL, Instagram URL, drop it into the GPT and say, analyze this for our consistency in our company message. I can take PDFs of marketing brochures. I can take press releases, announcements. Another thing I can do is I can take customer emails that I've sent, copy and paste those for my tone and my voice. I can update my mission and vision statement, my core values, any style guides I have. Um, because what I try to do, there's two different types of there's two different types of tone that I use. There's the way I talk, which is flawed. Poor punctuation when I email people. I don't use the comma where it needs to be. But I've trained Chat GPT or mine when I'm sending an email, I want it to sound like me. So I've dropped in 5 to 10 emails and said, "This is how I write. I need you to mirror that," and I'll test it. And it does. It speaks in the passive voice, which apparently is something I do. It'll mess up punctuation here and there. Nothing blatant, because most people know that get emails from me. They know. I mean, it's gonna be friendly, but it's not gonna be elaborate, and it's definitely not gonna be formal. But when it comes to Orhan Macmillan LLC, from a company email or from Designs Interactive, I do want that professional. They have those two businesses, even they're both me, have different tones. They have different messages. They have different brands. And so I've spent time educating my GPT to speak in those three different versions so that there is no way to duplicate, and it will not duplicate other messages because I've trained it not to do that. The other thing you can do if you're using a paid version is you can actually save the GPT, and I'll show y'all that real quick. The different types that I have. Let me go to login. Can y'all still see my screen? So this is make sure it's my paid one. So these are my GPTs. These are the ones. So I do work for a custom furniture, the construction. This is for a grant program that I'm working with. But and then of course I've got mine. Mine is the main one. And so whenever I'm working under a client, I need to make the other clients I work for too. I simply go here, and then now that I've saved that, I'm now working under the umbrella of the GPT that is specifically about the Capital Construction social media. And then you can see what we worked on. So I'm going to kind of give an example of a flow of how I do that. So I start out with the Google Drive. So I've got a folder for my client Capital Construction social media. This is in Google Drive. I've got a main document that talks about, this is the links to their stuff. This is our content calendar. These are the services they offer, because every now and then I have to go copy and paste. This is the introductory blurb about their business that we've created. This is their tagline. And so I save that on one document because I need to refer to it every now and then. But then I go back, and so like, for example, today was this one is what we worked on. So I've filled this out. The client has filled this out ahead of time. And it talks about what the construction project title is, the scope of work. Now, this is tailored for construction. Key features, challenges to overcome, sustainability or efficiency features involved in the construction, a description of the project, if there's any quotes. And I send this to them each time, and they have to fill this out. So who's the client? Well, in this case, it was East Baton Rouge EMS. Who's the general contractor? Obviously, Capital Construction. Who are their subcontractors? So all these people are subcontractors in this project, or are. Who was the architect? So what I did is I went into, let me see if I can pull my history. All right, here we go. So this is me talking to ChatGPT today about this. Okay. I came in today and I was just testing the GPT, and I said, hey, start with a summary from you of your understanding of Capital Construction's brand voice. I just wanted to make sure it was still on point. And it gave me a summary of everything we've talked about in the weeks past. I reviewed it. It looked great. Next, let's create a Facebook post for a current project update. So basically what I did was I simply copied the cells that had information like this, copied those, and you can see that here. And I said, create a Facebook post for a current project update. Here's the information. So all of this stuff is that stuff you see on the spreadsheet. Boom, hit this. All right. So then it came back with the Facebook post. And so it gave me the structure. I read through this. Now, interestingly enough, it did not list every single subcontractor, but I wanted them listed. So that was my note. Special thanks to our project partners, including, so I knew I was going to have to edit that. It referenced the architect, which was good. Here. So I took this and I went back to the project document, and this is for Facebook, and I put it in there, and I edited it though to go back and include all of these. Now, another tip. So whenever they complete this spreadsheet for me, I actually go in, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to increase their reach. So I go in and manually have to go to their Facebook page. And probably will come up with them because I just finished working on some of their stuff. We'll give it a second, my internet connection. But I physically go in, and each one of these, I will copy and paste. So I'm looking, so in order to tag someone, in order to have that post tagged, that you can tag those businesses, you have to like those businesses. So that means any businesses that they have, so I did a reel out of it. I'll talk about that in a second. Here's the project spotlight. So as you see, each one of these that are blue, 1, 2, 3, 15 of these, actually had Facebook pages. And so, but I had to go in ahead of time before posting this and find each one and like it and follow it. Because if you don't, you can't tag them. Now, as I'm getting into this, a couple months later, I'm seeing a lot of consistency, but at the same time, I'm seeing new ones. And so I go in, I tag them, like their pages. Then I go in, I make the post, and then I have to go back and manually tag each one of them in there. Is it time consuming? Yes. Does it take time to do? Yes. But it's increasing the reach, the possible reach of this one post going to the whatever number of followers that Capital Construction has to go into these others. And hopefully what we're hoping for is that people will cross-like, cross-share, etc. I know that in one of the posts, that's just somebody. Okay, so here, as you see here, so emails, architecture, door, and hardware is actually one of the subcontractors. So email, whoever's handling their social media, got tagged, saw that, went back and liked it. That helps our reach. That helps the reach of that. In an earlier one, I had one of the project partners comment on there, and that's what we're really looking to do. So again, created that, tagged, posted. So then I went in, and people like reels, and so I went into the Meta Business Suite, and I said, hey, make me a reel. So basically I just took I took the pictures. I'm gonna turn that back off the audio, and just some pictures with a short little description. Here we go. I found a little music to put to it because people like reels. So now they got a reel and they got a Facebook post. That goes back to earlier in the presentation when I'm talking about repurposing and reformatting. So that was Facebook. Then I went back into ChatGPT and I said, I wanted some ideas on how to post photos. And then, now, you remember, I went in and edited the Facebook post from what ChatGPT had done. And so I said, this is the final Facebook I created. Can you rewrite it for Instagram? Because I want it different, and Instagram's got a little bit different tone. So then it came out with the Instagram post. obviously you can see a little shorter because Instagram posts usually are. And so I went and I took that and posted that on Instagram. And then our third platform we use is LinkedIn. And so I said, hey, can you take that version and then make a LinkedIn version? And again, they did, it did. I went back and expanded on the number of project partners, and then posted that there. So I've got 3 different message styles for the 3 different social platforms. Now, for example, if I was handling their email marketing, then I would go in here, for example, and say, okay, great. Now, can you take the best of these and create a compelling email newsletter? I would say include 3 subject lines for me to consider. Also, 3, I forget what MailChimp calls it, but it's a preview text, 3 preview text versions. Okay. I'll come back to that. All right. So here we go to evening. So here's my subject lines. Here's my preview text, different things, and then here's my body content for the email. I can take that and put that into a MailChimp there. I can go back and then create blog posts. So again, seeing how efficiently using this, I'm getting a consistency in message, and I'm getting something that's unique that the GPT is only going to create for this customer. Okay. So I had a question. These posts and social media accounts don't have much engagement. We can all create posts. We are looking to generate more engagement. Will translate to sales. What in the prompt chaining is going to, okay, let's ask GPT the question. It also depends on your audience size. So this client here, and we just started this, they don't have a lot of followers. So I'm trying to think if they list that here. But I know that, okay, they only have 219 likes and 231 followers. That's not that much. I'd have to go back and see as the increase in the last 3 months. But let's ask ChatGPT that question. So it's giving me, move this out the way. Actually, it's giving me 2 responses here. So to turn, let's go to this one. Every post should answer a question. Why should our audience care? Not just what we're doing. So it even gave me some prompt refinement. Instead of just we're building an EMS station, ask what impact does this have on the local community or partners or prospective clients confident in us? Value-rich captions, not just updates. So even here, it's given some suggestions that I'm not going to sit and go through. Share in industry groups. Add interactive formats. Translating engagement into sales. Once you have engagement, capture it. Use links to track clicks. Invite direct messages. I don't do very much of that. Run targeting ads to the viewers of your videos or your posts. Promote posts with client-centric language. And here's some more stuff here. Engagement, sales drivers, and chain audience first hooks, interactive formats, local relevance and impact data, clear conversational CTAs. Okay, lead magnets. Okay, I like that response actually better. So again, good question. and using your GPT after you get it, it's just something you're going to have to drill down into. Okay. What would you recommend on my, let's start with Facebook profile. That's too much information. I don't like reading a lot of information. It overwhelms me. On my Facebook profile for Capital Construction, be the first 5. Optimize Facebook page. Making sure I've got my cover photos. The consistent and diverse content strategy. Okay, maybe a little general. Oh yeah, aim to post 3 to 5 times weekly. That's not happening. These are different suggestions, which is what we do. Encourage interaction. Show appreciation. Again, leveraging Facebook Insights. Use targeted Facebook advertising. That's another thing you can use ChatGPT is help narrow that information down. And I'm reading through this Drive Business Growth. And says if you need assistance in creating specific content or setting up advertising campaigns, they can help as well. So I'm hoping that may have given some sort of an answer to what you were looking at. Okay. All right. So yep, that was it there. Okay. So any other, I hope this helped out some, gave y'all some ideas on how to, really lean into some AI stuff. But is there anything else anybody wants me to look at? Let me just go back and make sure I didn't miss any questions. And Shai, thank you for engaging. Okay, well, if no one has any other questions, we'll get out a little bit early today, and you can always reach out to me for specifics and stuff. But like I've come to embrace and accept, I am a heavy user of using the AI platforms, whichever one you want, and allowing it to help me be a thought partner, brainstorming ideas, come up with suggestions, analyze what I'm doing. And the other, I didn't do this, a lot of times I'll go back in and I will prompt chain on top of that and say, okay, that seems a little general. Give me some more specific answers. And I'll keep drilling down a little bit because, again, AI is there just to fill in the gap. But again, the more you challenge it and engage it and question it, the more specific your answers will get, and more specific your answers will be. Another thing you can do, it just came to me, if you have a competitor that you feel is doing better, that's getting a higher engagement, that's getting more shares, likes, comments, take their URL and drop it into your ChatGPT and say, this is a competitor of mine. What are they doing differently than I am? And why are they getting better engagement? Why are they getting better shares? Why are they getting better reach? Only they will know about the sales conversion process. But find someone that is doing it well, or that you seem to have more follow. How can I get more followers? Those type of things. And follow the advice and go down that way. All right. Well, I hope everyone has a good rest of the day. Always good visiting with you. And
Thank you, Orhan. And if anyone wants to connect directly with Orhan, feel free to email him. And if you want something more specific, you could, Orhan, feel free to pop your email in the chat. You don't have to CC me in. You could just speak directly to Orhan. So that's if you want to have something a bit more specific related to marketing for him to look at. I'm very happy for anyone to do that.
All right, everybody. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. I don't think we've decided on the next topic yet, but you'll know.
We'll know.
All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great
Yeah.
rest of the week. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.